That's by Gherkin Demir. I apologize if I butcher some names. I see some names that are somewhat unique. And he's got a 4/10 of a second on DeMarcus Rogers in the McLaren.
Yeah, as we bring some race info for you here today, it's raining. We got 86% chance of rain here tonight, but we looked at the forecast. It's going to be raining this whole 40-minute race. Got some GT3 action for you. Got that Audi R8, the BMW M4, Chevrolet Corvette Z06, that Lambo Huracan, the Ferrari 296, Ford Mustang, that new GT3, along with that Chevrolet Corvette within iRacing. Speaking of new, the McLaren 720S, got a lot of those in the field, and Porsche 911, and then that Mercedes AMG. So we take a look at the grid right now. So far we have Gherkin, DeMarcus, Tyler, Kevin, and Braxton Young in the top 5 with only 40 seconds left in qualifying. I would imagine that this is got to be rounding up soon. If you're just now joining us, we got 3 Seans for you in the booth. My name's Sean Stam. I'm going to be joined with
Ron Roberts, occasional commentator and pit reporter for Stam Network.
we should have
Not hearing you guys if you're talking.
And we also got Sean McStay, part of the West Coast Racing group. Appears he might be having some mic issues right now.
This qualifying's just going to finish up. Looks like that is going to be our starting order as we see the track really darken. I'm not sure if that's...
It is 6 o'clock in the afternoon there.
Okay.
So this race is going to be dark and wet.
Goodness, it's going to be treacherous for these tires and brakes to get any sort of temperature. And within
It'll
this
probably take
40-minute race.
3 or 4 laps for it to come up.
So we bring you the starting grid. So we're trying to sort out just some audio issues here. Mic check, test 1, 2.
All right, I can hear you, Sean. Stam, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I got you.
Perfect.
I'm hearing there's no parsec audio. Are you getting that?
One of the guys in Twitch chat just said there's game audio but no commentary.
Okay. We weren't talking there for a second, so that could be that commentary issue. I was getting one notification that there wasn't any stream volume, but you said that that's okay. So we're starting to roll off here from a dark and wet Fuji, Japan. And if you're just now joining us, we got rain for you tonight. Just a quick 40-minute race GT3 series.
Yeah, Twitch chat said they can't hear any commentary.
There is commentary on the YouTube.
Okay.
Okay, stand by.
As the leaders come around from past that corner down the very long front straightaway. Up right up. They do have, if you want to, real quick, Sean, explain the orange flag for us.
Yeah, so first lap.
Flag to start the race.
Yeah, first lap is orange flag. So any incidents that happen in the first lap are going to be judged more harshly when it comes to penalties, and the stewards are reviewing. We don't do live stewarding, but we do stewarding after the fact. People can submit incidents to review, and yeah, anything on this first lap is going to be scrutinized extra.
Here we're coming up to the line, waiting on Barney. And there's a green flag. We are racing here at Fuji. Three wide, four. We got one spin. We got McLaren off the side. At the number 14 of Joseph Brown into the wall on the front straightaway.
Looks like most of the leading pack was able to make it through the first couple of corners. Definitely a wet one tonight.
And we thought going through the rain on iRacing is challenging enough. Now try doing it in the dark when you're just lighting up the spray ahead of you.
Yeah, definitely. We'll see if we can check out some cockpit cams at some point. But for now, it looks like Gherkin's building a little bit of a gap between him and DeMarcus. Tyler, Kevin, and Braxton rounding out the top 5.
Looks like everyone's starting to string out a little bit. This last sector is going to be definitely a trouble one with the cold tires. This double left-hander does. It ends up in some very lazy spins. I would not be surprised if we have some in the opening lap.
Yeah, definitely. And as people get used to exactly where the water is on the track on this very wet Fuji, that hill complex coming there around this, even all the way up through this corner onto the front straight, definitely puddles abound.
Yeah, you guys mentioned how treacherous this is. We're going to take a look at Troy back here. He looks like he's going to lose it. Gonna have any contact or just by himself? Oh, just slips by himself. Not enough temperature pressure on these tires. As he'll get it righted. No damage for him.
Hate saying this over the stream, but Sean, I think we're picking everything up on your mic because I heard I heard Stam doubling in my ears.
Okay.
I'm not sure where the double is coming from, but
Should fix it now as we jump back on board with DeMarcus here in P2, trying to, looks like he's going to battle for that lead just a little bit with Gherkin, that Porsche 911.
We heard some spins.
Yeah,
All
looks
right.
like Justin. This probably wasn't the one you're talking about, as we've had spins all around the track. Looks like Justin's just going to run wide here as it's trying to, I mean, you can't see hardly anything, trying to get some clean windshield wiper there, not in the mist of all the cars in front. Yeah, looks like he just runs wide. This looks like the car you were talking about, Matt Larkin. Going to take a look at what happens.
Yeah, the 121 Mustang spun in front of him. See if I get a better view on my end.
Yeah, we're going to see Matt take it to the pits. There's a little bit of bump drafting here between the Ford Mustang and the, is that the, can't quite make it out till he comes by. Oh, that new McLaren, that's why. Just not used to seeing those headlights. So we see a great shot of this mist. We'll take you a bit further back in the pack so you can see just how tough it is to see for these drivers. Now these may be treaded tires, but they're by no means easy to race with, as we've already seen a few spins. You guys mentioned it a little bit earlier, getting temperature into these tires. Have you guys ever taken GT3s out in the rain?
Not very much. I've actually only recently got back into the GT racing. Long story short, I was out for a while with a concussion. Actually could not race on my sim for a period of time. So I'm only just getting into the GT3s in the wet weather.
Yeah, and I don't have a ton of experience in GT3 in the wet. I've done some practice races with AI. Not a huge fan of wet weather, as we talked about on Tuesday night, but I did do a wet race at Fuji this week in F4, actually. And that had the chicane, so that was quite the adventure. A lot of work to just stay alive, but it was interesting. But we didn't have the added complication in that race of driving in the dark, as we could see right here from this rear bumper cam. There's headlights and not a whole lot else when you're out there at certain parts of this track right now.
Yeah, as we take a look at the nose cam of Tyler's car we were just riding on board with, yeah, you see maybe some faint red blinking lights, as that's the rain lights. But really, like you said, not a lot going on there. We got a crash a little bit further back the pack. Brian Hoskins, we'll take a look. Oh, it looks like running by himself back here. Oh, nosed into the wall. Looks like he'll take his one faster pair we have for these drivers tonight.
Yeah, it looks like he put his left side tires up on the curb, and just as soon as he jumped on the brakes, it just spun him around and nosed him into the wall.
So I heard you guys kind of mentioning it earlier as I was fixing some technical difficulties. You guys talked about the standing water on the track and the lower laying areas. Yeah, you know, maybe hydroplaned in real life, hopefully not. But man, hydroplaning at 100, 130, 140 miles an hour is a whole new ball game as you try and fight that car, get it back underneath you. As we saw Brian back there, just couldn't. It's so hard to do once the car just gets a little bit of yaw to it in these rainy, wet conditions. The track is soaked here at Mount Fuji, Japan.
Yeah, and then just speaking of that, with as I just watched the number 15 spin through that double left-hand corner
Oh gosh.
on that final sector.
So we've had the 15 spin. We were just looking at Tyler there. Here's running in third. We'll take a look and see what happened to the 15 Tyler Campbell from Seattle.
This is what I was saying about this section of corners. Just get that lazy spin.
Hopefully not going to collect another driver. Nope, gets it off the racing surface there, or the racing line.
And speaking of incidents, these guys are limited to 17 incident points before they are giving a drive-through penalty. And with this track being wet and dark, we could see some drive-through penalties over the course of this race.
Yeah, you bring up a really good point there for somebody who's maybe not too familiar with iRacing incident points. If you go off track or get in the grass or even the gravel, that's one, and then good enough car contact with another vehicle, that'll be 4. And you're exactly right. Over the course of this 40-minute race, only coming up 32 minutes left to go, there definitely could be some drive-through penalties as we see some of these drivers start to slowly approach that 17 incident mark. Take another look on board here. This time with the driver, the 725 from Mexico. It's such a technical track. I mean, it's already tough enough in the dry. You throw this element of simulated pouring rain. It's I got to give these drivers credit. So, you see, yep. Try to get just some clean viewing distance so kind of see your braking marks just a bit better as we see him get a little bit loose coming off a throttle.
And your line's gonna change as as the track adapts a little bit with the weather. I mean, over a course of a 40-minute race, there's not going to be a ton of difference. We started out pretty darn wet, and it's looking like it's going to stay that way. But that said, as the cars are working their way around the track, different parts of the track are going to, shift from being having a bit of traction to not much. And those curbs are definitely not the friends that they may have been in a dry track situation.
Yeah, you bring up a good point about the curbs. The paint is something that you really want to avoid. As we saw in that static shot, these cars are kind of just creeping around these corners. I mean, I don't blame them. You can't, the second that you push over what is a very low limit already, you're looking at nosing into the wall like we've seen one too many times. We're just riding on board with him, the driver, the 725 from Mexico. Looks like he's going to go a little bit off track here in his Porsche. Barely hangs on to it as he ran a little bit wide.
And you bring up about creeping around. These cars are running half the normal capacity fuel tanks, same as the GT sprint races in the iRacing official. So typically they would get around 19, possibly 20 laps if you're really groggy on saving fuel. With the amount of lift and coast and just not being able to tip the throttle, we may see a couple of guys go the entire race without stopping for fuel.
Yeah, that's. I was trying to jump on board there with driver. Looked like he went off track. He took it right back to the pits. So we'll jump back on board with the driver in second place, DeMarcus. But that's a really good point. The fuel restriction hasn't gone any more for this rain race as these drivers continue to be more off throttle. You think that they'll be able to stretch it the whole way?
I was watching some guys in practice, and they were able to go 23 laps on a tank of fuel, and that's at the pace they're going at. That's really close to going the entire race distance without stopping.
These guys do have a fuel number that they know that they can hit, so I think with enough coasting, once they've hit that number, I think that they're just going to be good to go, kind of like you've said.
Yeah, and we're obviously with the rain really far off of these guys' typical lap times. A couple of the fast guys in here, I was looking at their garage 61 times. They're in the high 30s. Lapping around this track, and to see them, putting in 151s, 150s, they're taking it pretty lightly around here. So yeah, fuel's going to be an interesting consideration to see what happens there.
If we look at Andrew Muse here, going to get, thought the driver of the 19 Lambo there right behind him was about to make a move, Braxton Young. The McLaren, again, new to this season of iRacing, it's looking so far so good. Got on the bumps there a little bit, Andrew did, but, so far a good showing for this new 720S, even in the pouring conditions in Mount Fuji.
I do believe these guys are going to a fuel number because compared to their practice and qualifying laps, they're about 2 seconds off pace from their qualifying times and their practice times. So I think they are driving to a fuel number to go to the end without stopping.
Just goes to show just how much off throttle and easing, coasting into these corners that these drivers are doing. Looks like is that Andrew up there? Maybe Braxton that got a little bit loose coming out of turn 2, I believe that was. So this is just, it goes to show how much more rain adds to racing conditions. As we're gonna see that Ford Mustang. I thought he was gonna step out on Tyler there for a second. Look at that thing, looks like it's sliding around the track, doesn't it?
Oh yeah,
that Mustang is all over the place. Sorry,
they
Sean.
both are. Yeah, definitely. I mean, if they can avoid a pit stop, obviously you're going to save some time on the pits, but also you're going to keep whatever crucial amount of heat you've been able to develop in those tires in the tires, which is, pretty important as we see these guys. They're not driving, the fastest laps they possibly can, and you're still seeing the back ends of all these cars, wiggling all over the track.
Seems like we're seeing lots of these new McLarens out here, at least up towards the front of the pack as we've been kind of going through the field. Got Justin, the driver, number 17, another McLaren, it looks like, yep. Sometimes that McLaren, those headlights look a little bit too similar to the Ferrari, but, getting more used to them. As again, this car is only, 2 weeks old in the sim. As we look at Theo here behind him. Remember Theo in our GT4 LMP3 race on Tuesday night. I believe he was running in the top 5. Good night for him. Good night for Theo.
Yeah, it's up there in 8th place, making some progress for sure. Right behind him is Michael Nash that we're taking a look at now. So, yeah, it's a bit of gaps opening up, but there's a couple of close battles throughout the field here.
Speaking of close battles, Mark's kind of leading a train of blanket of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars there behind him. Canadian driver, this 22 Ford Mustang. As we see him.
Whoa, the 396.
Oh,
Or
gosh.
369.
Oh, as we were riding on board with him, you see that in the mirror? Were you on board with him as well?
No, I was watching from the end of the straightaway, and the 22 also spun into turn 1.
Oh, gosh. Oh, just loses it off the wall. Oh. So Peter didn't get the worst end of it. Looks like Mark.
And Mark got rear-ended by the 48, I believe that was. Yeah, Life Martens. He rear-ended him going into turn 1.
I spun him out. Looks like that back end's just a little crinkled. The spoiler's still on there. Gosh, I wonder if he's already gonna... he's not bringing it to a stop, so... We see him probably struggling with some...
He still has his fast repair to burn if he needs it.
Very good point. So we look at Peter here, that driver, the 369, looked like a bit of contact that last incident. Because we're going to have that Mustang right behind him with Tyler trying to work his way back up through the field. Almost looked on the outside of the driver, that Porsche right in front of him. And Peter.
Oh, that was a nice crossover.
That was. We kind of saw that progressing as it happens. Nice move, Tyler. He's going to work himself into the top 10 here pretty soon. Good looks.
396 is coming in. Try to use up his fast repair.
Yeah, let's take a look at Peter here. Probably just a quick in and out. Try to be... Let's see. Hopefully no new tires. Yeah, perfect. Good call on him, keeping the tires on there. A little bit of heat, or what's left in them, as he takes his one fast repair tonight. Jump back on board with the leader, Gherkin here. This lap is pretty impressive. Or the gap, excuse me. Really impressive over last... Oh, I thought it was 10 seconds last time I checked, showing 1 second now over DeMarcus.
Him and DeMarcus have checked out on the field. It's a further 10 seconds back to Kevin in third.
Braxton Young back here, guys. Gonna looks like driver the 19. Is he gonna run wide? Maybe have some contact with a wall? Oh, loses
he just
it.
spun it.
Oh. Okay. I was thinking he may have been a little more there as we look at another incident here. We got Leaf just by himself under, just a turn. Oh, the car appears there right behind him. Guys, Tyler working his way up in his Ford Mustang, the number 9. he's going to lose it by himself, loop it, just pushing too hard. The same corner.
Same corner. That I said that corner is going to. That corner is notorious for doing this, and then you add in the wet and the cold.
Gosh, I give it to these drivers. They are really giving it their all. Sweet round. Let's see. Probably about half. Yep, just coming to halfway to go in this race. Huracan's really an impressive drive by him and DeMarcus so far. So we see that gap to Kevin behind you mentioned, about 10 seconds. 13, 14 there. Man, it got dark quick here at Mount Fuji, Japan. These temperatures continue to plummet. If you spin out, you really have to, your whole nother next lap, maybe even 2, you're going to be barely touching the throttle and brake pedal just to try and just barely get your car around here, get some more temperature in the tires. If we had, as I'm saying that,
19
David
spun out the 3.
19 spun out the 3. Okay, we'll take a look here. See Andrew. You got the 19 right there and that mist behind him. Same corner. Ooh. Yeah, there's some contact there between the 19 and the 3 of Andrew Muse. So we look at Kevin here putting on pretty decent race for himself. Going to finish good in the points if he can keep this good run for himself together. Just look at all that water that's being thrown up behind him. These rooster tails is, oh, there you go. You can see it when the light catches it. Rain racing in the dark is something that I never want to do. Driving alone when it's raining in the dark is pretty bad as itself, as we saw a car a little bit off the line there. Looks like the Porsche could be car going a lap down. Take a look at, see what happened to Luke Patrick, the Ford Mustang 121.
Oh, he just looped it himself.
I wish we had a graphic for just self-spins tonight. That would be, I mean, we've seen and again, I'm not saying that I can do it any better than these drivers, because I know how tough this is, but it's goodness gracious, I would hate to be in their shoes tonight. Andrew Muse just creeping around here. Saw him involved in that little incident earlier. He's going to take a wide line through that corner that we've seen countless spins through. Maybe just searching for any sort of grip, trying to get off the rubber line that's laid down by these tires. In the rain, you kind of want to avoid the normal racing line that you're used to running, as that's going to be the more slick line. Yeah, these gaps are starting to show themselves a bit more. You got Gherkin getting himself back out to that 4-second lead, and then back behind him that 13, 19, and 29 seconds gaps between each other. Take a look at DeMarcus Rogers right after the treacherous turn. All these turns are treacherous. We'll take a look, see what happens as he gets on the paint. We see Andrew run on the rumble strips, but risk versus reward there, except I'm not sure there's really as much of a reward at all. See that paint? As soon as you touch it, it's just super, super slick. Just another thing to look out for. We'll take a look at Chris. Another, not sure if this was self-spin or what happened. The replay is having a bit of a fit. Not sure what happened to Chris. Maybe just instant disconnect. We'll jump back on board with, see Kevin here running in. That's not Kevin. Kevin's running in second. The driver that 18 Again, another new McLaren 720S.
Looking at Chris's incident, he dove it in on turn 1, parked it in on the apex, and the car he passed ran into the back one, which was the 725 of Rodolfo.
Okay, good looks. Appreciate that, Sean. As we see a pretty tight battle for second and third. We see these LED panels on these cars displaying what positions they're in. They update as they come across the line. As we saw a great pass there. What a move by DeMarcus. Get his spot back. Well deserved. Running second place. These drivers are really impressing me. Got some talent behind some West Coast racing, as well as some really clean racing in these treacherous conditions that, again, I couldn't imagine running in. Pitch black. Doesn't look like too many track lights here around Fuji International Speedway here in Oyama, Japan, as the rain continues to plummet down. No letting up soon. 25 minutes to this 40-minute race. As we see a bit of battling here behind DeMarcus for third. Kevin and Tyler Campbell going at it. Oh, that was looked like a lapped car that was battling there with Kevin. Here's Tyler. Looks like a Ford Mustang from those very distinct brake lights, headlights as well.
Tyler Anderson spun and nosed his car into the wall. Looks like coming off of, looks like he was in 300R.
We'll take a look. Good looks. Oh, hard impact to that what is that, inside barrier would be that turn. We'll take a look, see what happened one more time. Oof, this is going to be a hard impact. Gosh. Believe he will be coming in as, well, maybe even towing to the garage.
He towed.
Okay. So we're looking at this wreck. We got David again. David Schmidt. Oops. Oh, goes super deep. Oh, okay. Gonna take that car to the garage. I'm not sure. Maybe the treacherous the conditions just a bit too much. I'm not sure really what's happened there. So we're back on board.
29 of Russell Gordon spun in the treacherous turn 13.
Okay, not seeing that. I am seeing Sergi here. We'll take a look at his off track. Wow, the car behind him also followed him. The driver that won. Another McLaren. Yeah, okay, no harm, no foul. So we see Peter. We'll take a look. Looks like he's going to make a pass. Just passing somebody in the pits. It'll be for 14th. Peter Cheney just keeping his car on track. We can't really say enough about Gherkin here, still up in the lead. Stretching that gap by quite a bit now. Coming to 12 minutes to go in this race. You guys seeing anything else that's really catching your eye, or just these conditions continue to get worse and worse for these West Coast Racing GT3 drivers?
I don't know how much worse they can get.
Good day for Leaf. He's ran it back up to the top 10 in his 48 Porsche. He's going to get on the curbs there a little bit. Doesn't look like there's does he have a nose on that car? It's hard to see that time by.
The 48 car?
Yes,
It does
sir.
not have a nose.
Okay. We're running 10th. Really good run. So we take a look at Chris behind him. Another good run for Chris. Running 11th right now in the number 16.
I thought he was going to make...
Yeah, it looked like he was trying to maybe get him to look in his mirror a little bit. So we look at Jason there right behind him. Good run for Jason, running 12th in his McLaren 661. Running behind Jason, we got Russell Gordon. Looks like driver of another Mustang. Or,
Off track, coming off the hairpin.
is it contact between two cars we have here? Or are they just two separate incidents? We'll see.
Right, off track and... Oh, Chris!
No, we were just talking about him. Oh, man. So that was Chris. We'll take a look, see what happened to Braxton. Braxton Young, that driver of the 19.
Here we go again.
Sets
Wait
it
for it.
up. The paint and spin.
Yeah, that one, he actually got the pain. That got his spin.
Oh, man. This is just, goodness gracious. We got Hans. Oh, gosh. Hopefully not collecting any other drivers here. Looks like, is this turn 1? It's a bit deep.
He just went deep.
Okay. Gets back on track. No harm, no foul there. You see Russell back on board with him. Running 12th again. Good run for him. So yeah, with these cars weighing about 2.5, about 2,500 pounds, it's really difficult. Yeah, these tires can bite into the surface, but again, when it's treacherous and flooded track conditions like this, you're just asking for it. It's super, super easy to get this car looped
Braxton had
around
a
you.
spin.
Yeah, see, right as I'm saying this, Braxton. We'll take a look, see what happens. See him pushing that car to the max. Looked like he may have had a little thing when it blinked out on us, or...
He just grabbed the paint right there.
Oh, we just saw it to develop. It's right as I cut it off. We see DeMarcus. It's showing he's going to pass Gherkin for P1. I'm not sure. Not sure what happened there. We'll jump on board live. DeMarcus, see where he's...
No, he's still got a gap. He's...
Okay. Okay, interesting. Not sure what happened there. Braxton Young, we'll take a look, see what happened. Passing another driver for showing 4th as he rounds the pit lane. Yeah, we saw him pass a car there. As he blinks out a little bit.
Albert Campbell pitted from 4th place.
Okay. We'll take a look, see. Okay, looks like a bit of a short of stop. So do you think that was just probably for his quick repair there? Or?
He was in there for a bit of time.
Oh, he was. Okay.
Yeah.
Gosh, you said he was running 4th too. It's you hate to see
he
that.
was in 4th place.
Gosh. You see Gherkin really gonna show him who's boss here. Lots of experience in the rain. I'm willing to bet for him, and hopefully he doesn't have the top down when he's racing in the rain. As you can see in his profile picture there. Yeah, he's put, gosh, up to 5th place. No, excuse me, up to 13th place. All these cars a lap down in this a 2.8 mile track. So really impressive run for Gherkin. Keep it up, a driver of the 13 Porsche. Got Rodolfo here. Is he going to go a bit wide? He is. Going to get it back on track. Oof. Okay. I'm not sure. Oh, you know, could that be some of these incident limits hitting these drivers?
I don't think so. I mean, possibly, but I still have him as classified as a driver.
Yeah, it wouldn't be incident limits because there's no max limit. There's just additional penalties. So their first penalty is at 17 for a drive-through, and then every 10 after that.
Copy, okay.
Matt Larkin spun coming off of a turn 1 and nosed it into the inside barrier.
Good look, Sean. Thank you for that. We'll take a look, see what happened in his yellow. Oh, God. Didn't look like... Gonna get it reversed? Nope. Takes it to the pits.
No, he's still out there.
He is.
Reversed.
Okay, okay. So we see the car just disappear. Oh, DeMarcus coming to the pits?
Marcus is in the pits.
Okay. He could have been, you think, pushing a bit too hard for the fuel that he's able to run? Or not sure what's happened there. I didn't see him going off track at all in the feed. What a story developing. This is going to be big in the points, guys.
If he continued on like he was, it looks like maybe he was serving a drive-through there.
Yeah, I said that looks like a drive-through.
No, I got him.
Nope,
Oh,
well,
no.
if he's stopped, then I hope not, because that won't count for your drive-through. He might have just needed fuel.
Oh, man, you hate to see that. Such a great run going for DeMarcus so far.
That's way too long for fuel, and way too long for a fast repair.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, not sure what's going on in the Rogers camp. So we'll jump back up with Kevin. He's now running second place. Gosh, you hate to see that for DeMarcus. We'll keep an eye, see if he comes out of the pits anytime soon. Man.
And
Yeah.
he has rejoined the track in 8th place.
Oh, he had a great run going for him. 8th is still, you know, that's still good, but I'm sure he wants that P2, P3 back. Ah. Feel bad for him there. That's a lot of hard work and effort to get to where he was running up there. And, again, not completely out of it points-wise. But, you know, Braxton Young, the driver of that 19, we've took a few looks at some replays with him just self-looping it for him to be running 5th. I don't know about you guys, but that's pretty impressive to me.
And he's still on the lead lap with all those spins.
No kidding. So we look at Joseph Brown there right behind him. Good day for Joseph. And Justin.
I wonder if that might have been a fuel stop for DeMarcus, but he didn't set his level.
Oh gosh, been in that boat one too many times, and there's nothing you can do once that pit stop starts. As you sit there hopeless, the fuel draining into the car. Oh man. Well, it'd be interesting. Maybe we get him in an interview after the race, gonna ask him what happened.
Gherkin just cycled through the pits.
Gherkin cycled through the pits. As we see Peter, driver of the 369, driving in the mist in front of him, gonna blink out just for a second.
Yeah, he went in and took a splash.
Okay. So we see him loop it there. Wow,
So Kevin Millard. Sorry.
Yeah, you're fine. I was just gonna say, with 1 minute to even 2 minutes to go, we've seen a lot of action here with maybe some of these drivers that just couldn't quite hit that fuel number. Yeah, you mentioned there Kevin Millard passing Gherkin. Wonder if Kevin's going to have to come down underneath the white flag to take some fuel. This is going to be very interesting to watch.
Yeah, he's committed.
Yeah, at this point, you're right. He's committed. We'll jump on board. I wonder if you can hear a bit of saving, or at this point, it's just go, go, go. Oh, a really, really early lift. See that look at the mist in front of him. We should be coming to the white flag this time by. The faint brake lights. Ooh, Porsche's going to run wide in front of him, slow him down just a bit. That gap showing just under 6.5 seconds, so not really Gherkin. Too much he can do unless Kevin, which is very probable, running on fumes, he could run out of fuel here just within these last few turns. Gherkin there from Boca Raton, Florida. Saw him up front all race. It's going to be pretty tough for him to swallow if we see Kevin stretch out his fuel. Take a look at that race clock. Yep, showing over 40 minutes now. So next flag he comes to will be the checkered. Is that right?
It should be the checkered flag.
Oh my gosh, is this going to work out for Kevin?
He's still under power coming into the last corner.
So you see Gherkin there close that gap, 4.3 behind him. It's not going to be enough, is it? Looks like Kevin's going to do it, guys. Holy smokes. What a run. So we see the gap continue to shrink. Again, nothing Gherkin can do now. Congratulations, Kevin, taking Mount Fuji in the rain, gonna take the victory. Gherkin, congratulations, P2. As we see Joseph Brown back here take third. DeMarcus Rogers is gonna end up rounding fourth once he comes across the line. Keeps all tires underneath of him. Tyler Campbell, great run for him. Gonna round 15th, excuse me, 5th place in that car, number 15, that Mustang.
Good recovery. Looks like a lot of guys had to dive in on that very last lap to take either a splash or a drive-through because of penalties.
So we apologize for any of our Twitch stream viewers. My kitten jumped on the other laptop and just knocked it down. Believe it should be up and running now, but with that being said, we're going to jump back on as these drivers line up for a good Instagram photo. Going to get some good range shots. Appreciate you guys joining me up in the booth. Again, congratulations to Kevin, really stretching that fuel tank of that McLaren. What a race we had today, guys. What'd you guys think? Great run.
That was intense following. The big thing about this race was to keep it clean. If you kept it clean, you were up near the front at the end of the day.
So we bring you our race grid here. Left off kind of rounds. Let's see. These are these the actual results here, or are they running order? Don't want to name off the wrong results for these drivers. So we did see Kevin take the checkered flag, Gherkin and Joseph, I know. DeMarcus.
Yep,
DeMarcus got back up to 4th?
Yes, he did.
Wow. Okay. That was, I wasn't expecting that because he was, 8th last time we checked in. We're going to look at Kevin up here, probably burn it. That's not even Kevin burning it down. He's already out of this. He's on the plane
Kevin's
back
out of
home. yeah, that's what you're exactly right. No fuel for burnouts is. Again, congratulations to these drivers for even completing this race. Even a lap or two down. You know, it's a achievement in and of itself. Appreciate you guys for watching on the Twitch channel and Stam Studio Network. I'm going to get out of here as my kitten is going back for the streaming laptop. So I'm going to catch you guys later. Appreciate you joining. And this has been the Triple Sean's. My name's Sean Stam, joined by
John Roberts.
And Sean McStay.
All right, everybody. Have a good night. Congratulations again to Kevin.
Have a good night. Congrats to the winners, top 3. We'll see y'all next time.
Bye, guys.